Hello, and welcome to a special episode of Lincoln to Local. I'm Rachel Havens, and today I've got with me Representative Dell Kerbs here at the state capitol. And Representative Kerbs, thank you so much for joining us and taking some time out of your day to visit with us. We really appreciate it. Will you take a moment to introduce yourself to our Farm Bureau members and tell them a little bit more about yourself and the area you serve?
Excellent. Well, my name is Representative Dell Kerbs. I'm the House Chairman for Agriculture and Rural Development. I serve as House District 26, which is Shawnee, Bethel Acres, Dale, Johnson, so got a little bit of all of it in there.
Excellent, excellent. Well, last week we came off of a big committee deadline where any bill that passed out of their respective committee will now move on in the legislative process, and any bill that failed to do so will be effectively dormant for the rest of the session. Will you tell us what some of those big ticket items that have moved on are that could affect agriculture or rural Oklahoma?
Well, some of the big things that we're going to be seeing in the next few weeks that came through some of the different committees was the medical marijuana bills. We know that's a big concern out in rural communities, so we need to make sure and take care of that. And as we progress, OMMA is doing a good job. They've got a good director on board, so continue to work with them. Many of you saw last couple of weeks ago, we had the big bust that took place. Those are going to continue to happen. You know, we're all for the legal medical marijuana grows, but we have so much illegal operation going on right now, and we've got to get a hold on that. And at the end of the day, those that are doing the right thing, we welcome them. They're neighbors, and at the end, we want to be neighbors being neighbors. We've got to get back to that. And so those are some of the big things that are still coming up that definitely affect us in there. Some of the other things that will affect rural communities is going to be, it's House Bill 3419. We're calling it, I affectionately call it Big Bertha, but it's the Service Oklahoma bill. On the Senate side, it's SB 1605. It's dealing with the tag agency and the backlog with the real ID and all of those things. We've had this problem. We had the perfect storm hit us with real ID compliant, the COVID, all of those. So we are addressing that issue, and you're going to see some improvements specifically in the rural areas, but across the state, to get those things coming back up and be able to have a one-stop shop for services that all Oklahomans deserve.
That's great. That's great. Well, as you may know, we have a big group of members of our Farm Bureau members that are very active in talking with their legislators on a regular basis and voicing their concerns, their opinions. And can you tell us why it's important for agriculture to have a voice in the state legislature?
Well, if you don't have if you as the individual don't talk to your representative or your senator, then your voice goes unheard in this capitol. So you need to make sure that you're reaching out to them and visiting with them. And Farm Bureau has a great team that comes and visits with us and brings a collective group situation, whatever that challenge may be. We don't always see those challenges. So when your team brings those to us, then we see that and we can attack that and take care of that challenge and overcome it. Whatever it is, we're gonna do whatever we can to make sure and take care of that, because at the end of the day, rural communities are the backbone to not only Oklahoma, but to the America, everything. And that's the big thing we've got to remember. And sometimes our urban folks love them to death, but they forget about that. They think the only thing that rural is just a bunch of hillbillies out there chewing on corn stalk and hay and drinking moonshine. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing all the time, but no, I'm just messing with you. But no, our urban folks really do sometimes think that the grocery store is where ag comes from. It goes a long ways before it gets to that point.
Definitely. Well, that's great insight. What is the best way for our members to reach out to their representatives here at the Capitol? Is it coming in? Is it email, phone call? What works best?
Email, phone call. Emails will get it. If you send an email from your personal email address, it has a higher likelihood of getting seen by the member than it does if it's in a chain email. But at the end of the day, the one thing that the Farm Bureau members have is a legislative team that's up here at the Capitol that's always fighting for their best interests. So if you don't feel like you're getting somewhere, reach out to that Farm Bureau legislative team, because I promise you, They know how to get the access, and they know how to do those things. But we welcome anybody, anytime. Phone call, text, email, show up, whatever you want to do.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Representative Kerbs, for your insight, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Lincoln to Local.